Hey guys, welcome to episode 11 of the podcast titled Hills Like White Elephants. Hills Like White Elephants is the title of a short story written by Ernest Hemingway. I first read the story in his collection Men Without Women. It's a great title for a collection, it's a great front cover too. And a few guys like on a street corner, I guess it's somewhere in like Brooklyn, sort of black and white photo next to like 40-ounce bottles of beer, rolling dice, smiling, laughing. And that's where I first read this story. But this story is probably one of Hemingway's most anthologized. I think it's taught quite a lot in the American education system. Though I'm not American, so I don't really know, but I've seen a few people say that online on Ernest Hemingway pages that I follow. So it is very famous and very short and very revered, or it is revered I should say, by many. So I'm going to read a review that I wrote for it and hopefully it makes you interested in reading the story yourself. It'd be easy to find online. So here's the story. Hills Like White Elephants by Ernest Hemingway. Hills Like White Elephants is a short story by Ernest Hemingway about two lovers discussing the potential dangers and consequences of getting an abortion done in Barcelona. The story is set at a train station located in the Spanish countryside. The American man and English-speaking woman drink beer and liqueur as they wait to board. Tension inevitably rises between the two and reaches its apex just before the narrative ends. The last two sentences of the story have the woman declare, after sending her man away and demanding silence, "There's nothing wrong with me, I feel fine." The male in the story and the reader are left acutely aware that these statements are not wholly true. First published in 1927, Hills Like White Elephants demonstrates the many reasons why Hemingway is so heralded as the master, or as a master, of the short story form. Clear imagery, punchy dialogue and simplistic diction permeate the prose. The simile that is the title of the story is a line of dialogue spoken by the woman as she stares out into the distance near the beginning of the fiction. After this, she and her man are given two big beers and she is proud of her remark. It reoccurs throughout the story and represents both happier times gone by and the promise of a future undisturbed by abortion. She soon admits to not really believing that the hills look like white elephants, but reflects that it was the type of observation that would have impressed her man in the not too distant past. Desperately wanting to be reassured that their relationship will remain the same post-operation, the woman asks her partner, "Things will be like they were and you'll love me?" Shortly after asking this impossibly difficult question, she inquires further, "But if I do it, things will be nice again if I say things are like white elephants and you'll like it?" The man tries his best to answer these questions with sincerity and calmness, but his tone only serves to agitate and aggravate. The two then discuss the imminent procedure in greater detail, and the male consistently stresses his belief that everything will be fine and that his partner need not worry. In response to his positive confidence, the female reveals that she cares not for herself nor for her safety, and the man is deeply disturbed by this. He reaffirms that she does not have to go through with the operation if she does not want to. Understandably, the more the couple drink and discuss their planned trip to Barcelona, the more distressed the woman becomes. Near the end of the story, having heard enough of her man's hollow assurances, she asks, "Would you please stop talking?" Needing to take their bags from one side of the station to the other, the man moves their luggage and stares at the other travellers patiently waiting for the train to arrive. He returns to see his partner still sat. She smiles at him. He returns to see his partner still sitting down, and she smiles at him. Hemingway is revered for his enigmatic turn of phrase. His status as one of the most innovative and pioneering prose writers of the last century is unquestionable. The writer's theory that a great short story should appear as the peak of an iceberg is as apt as any for this snapshot of love, fear and death. So, that's what I wrote. There's a few things that could do with editing that, to be honest, in a few places, but that's always the way with writing. until it's in a book. But yeah, that's Hills Like White Elephants by Ernest Hemingway. Like I say, there is a documentary on him at the moment that I do want to check out. It's just finding the time. I always feel too guilty when I sit down and watch something. No, I'm forever watching stuff on YouTube. So, but yeah, that's a short story by Hemingway. I thought it would make sense to do that, considering the previous video was called Failing Relationship. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, I've read that collection of short stories. I've read The Old Man in the Sea. I've read The Sun Also Rises. I've read A Movable Feast. And I would probably say A Movable Feast is the best work of his. It's a memoir written later in life about when he was young in Paris, friends with Scott Fitzgerald, Gertrude Stein, Ezra Pound, you know, that sort of left bank before Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir got there. American expat community after World War One, Picasso, the art scene, you know, all of that good stuff. Let me know what you think if you do read the story. I hope you enjoy it. He's worth reading just for how influential he is if you're interested in writing, I believe. Anyway, all the best as always.